like I said, the backdrop is a scalable solution. Most scalable solution.
Yeah.
Backdrop is like to me.
Pull this up.
Brother.
We're already live. I'm recording.
We recording already?
We're fucking recording, bro. What were you saying?
No, like I think we won't be able to do any actual renovations to this space just yet. We literally are just like in here now. You know what I mean? What I'm getting at is that like we kind of like have to slowly kind of colonize this place. You know what I mean? And then we'll see. We'll see what kind of like Toddman kind of gave me the impressions like not right away. We have to kind of like just let them get used to the fact that we're here now. And then eventually, yeah, we'll be able to do like some actual.
You don't want to make them nervous. Be like, bro.
Yeah, it's just like you know the whole saying of like give a bitch an inch and she'll take a mile. Like that. We don't want to be that. We don't want to be that bitch that's taking a fucking mile. Like it's already a favor that they're doing to us for us by just being here.
Yeah, right? Which is huge already, man.
Yeah, huge. This is fucking like this is. I think honestly, this is gonna work out really well. So that's why I'm saying like I think the scalable solution is just to get a backdrop. I think that'd be sick. We just have to decide what's gonna be on that backdrop because. We did the green screen before. But it's not like the thing is I don't want to have to worry about like what I'm wearing each time. Like I just want to be able to roll out that banner, and then Bob's your uncle.
We could fucking maybe even paint this bitch too.
No, that's what I'm saying. So like for now we can't paint it because I already brought that up with Tommy. I'm like, yo, like
eventually
are you down for me to like paint? You know what I mean?
Eventually.
Even this, bro, like it would be sick if we could get like a black rubber top. If we are gonna do the desk thing, if we could get like a black rubber top, I think that'd be fucking sick.
Here. You can just like have like a bunch of like, you know.
Yeah, just like the Joe Rogan table. You know what I mean? Like literally just have a bunch of random shit. Can't be like too much because I don't want to have to like tape like clean it up and then like bring it out every single time. But I think we could have some like, you know, random shit.
Stays. You don't think? No. Really? No.
We have to think of this as like
temporary.
It's not even a podcast studio. Like we're just like because I don't want to make it where
that's setting the expectation.
Like like we're just here from 10 to 12, like from 9 to 11
on Sundays.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't want to like I want to be able to have where like it's completely fine that we're here.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make it where it's just like we leave it as is, and then now Matt's coming in or Toma's coming in, and they're like, you know, they're doing something else in here.
Shit up.
And then like we lose track of shit, you know what I mean? I want to be able to literally just like at 10 or at 9, come in here, set it up, put the tripods up, and then we're good to go. Like whatever the set, like it should be a minimal set, you know what I mean?
And with that being said, fuck, bro, we're back.
We're back, baby. We're back.
We're in a temporary.
Season 1, you know what I mean? This might not even be season 1. To me, this is like season 0.
This is like just like episode 1. This is all just the ones, you know, we're starting from the fucking beginning, bro. This is the beginning.
Pretty much.
We're in a little office space / studio right now. Temporary thing for the time being, but at least we can get together, fucking sit down. Fucking break
dedicated space.
A dedicated space, which we've never had before.
We've never had. This is
to
be fair, we did have it, but like again, like it wasn't really because it was like my living room, which was fine. Honestly, it did the job, but it's kind of like this actually works out really well for the actual lifestyle, though.
Yeah,
like for our schedules in general.
I like the idea of going out, you know, every week or something and going to the place.
Sunday, exactly. A place on Sunday, and then it also kind of like combines with the whole jiu-jitsu thing too. Like it's right here. Like
man.
So basically, this space is right across the hall is Revo, which is the jiu-jitsu gym that I'm an instructor at. I'm a partner in, and it just turns out that one of my partners, his father-in-law owns this whole building, and this is actually like one side of like one half anyway of the entire upper floor. And you know, we were just able to get in here and use it as an office space basically because they weren't using it. The tenants weren't using it.
Burlington, Ontario, for all those.
Borington, Ontario.
But
you know what? I was telling my friends about, like, I was talking to my friend about it. It's just like, yeah, living in Toronto's sick. And don't get me wrong. Like, if another opportunity came up, like, I would probably take it. The thing is with me and living in Toronto, though, is that I get distracted really fucking easily.
Like, it's easy to get distracted down there.
There's so much shit going on. Like, it's so easy to just be like, it's harder to have discipline there. You know what I mean? In terms of like, oh, like you want to go to a show, or oh, you want to go out. Like obviously our time in Toronto together is not really a good barometer because we basically lived through COVID. But prior to that, when I was living in Toronto, it was basically just like when I was in Queen West, like bro, like I got nothing done. You know what I mean? I lost a couple of years. No, don't get me wrong, it was fun.
It was fun.
But in terms of like that grind mindset, bro, like it's not the same as like in Hamilton. Like I have no fucking choice. Well, not necessarily no choice, but it's just grind season. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to get things done.
You think it's because it's just like quieter in general out here?
Well, quieter.
There's less shit to do, you know.
There's less shit to do, but I think
if you want to do some shit, you gotta
exactly. It's gotta be some.
Who wants to make that fucking drive every other night? You know,
bro. I mean? Like honestly, like
a lot of motherfuckers make that drive.
They do make that drive. They do make drive. I mean, fuck, I'm one of those motherfuckers that make that drive, bro. When I was training at like Current or training at Evo, like I was making that drive every fucking day. But you know what? Like the fact that I live at home, like I work from home. To me is like it's just like any regular, like it's like that's my commute basically.
Most motherfuckers have a 9 to 5 where they go either via train or they drive down to their office. That's already like 1 hour there and back.
Fried.
And then they will go back to the city every weekend.
Fried.
And I'm just like, man,
like I don't miss the community days.
Most motherfuckers, bro. Like I was talking to my girl about this, man. Like, I don't want to like, judge too hard, but like we went out with a couple of friends last night on Friday.
Yeah.
And like we rallied, like I haven't seen these people. Like, and I like these two people. They're like her homies that like, that you're down with. That I'm down with. Yeah, sure. It's always a good time with them. But so we went to like a couple of restaurants, right? And like they know they've been in the city way longer than like we both have, and so they're pretty like well versed in what's going on, and like what's going on, like what's the good places, what are the low key places that are like hidden gems. So we went to a couple of those places, and we spent like a pretty hefty bill. And like the next day, like the whole night, I was just like, man, like I was just wondering, like, do these motherfuckers do this like how often do they do that?
That's another point that you're bringing up as well. That's just like, bro, like in the city, I don't know. Like, I think the fact that we're living
the only thing to do.
Well, but just like, no, I mean, in fairness, there's a lot of other shit to do, but like that whole lifestyle of
that's the normal thing to do.
That's the which is
the
normal thing. Yo, dude, the normal thing to live in downtown is to spend 50% of your fucking of your wages on rent. And then another 30% on fucking food and just like entertainment. Like you, like what kind of like
drinks?
Unless you're really disciplined about your finances, bro. Like you're not saving shit. If anything, a lot of these motherfuckers are going into debt.
Yeah. Oh, they're
just for the lifestyle.
They're going into that shit, bro. They're going into those cars,
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like one of my friends, Doug, he doesn't even live downtown. This guy lives in Mississauga, and he was telling me one day, bro. He's like, yo, I'm 40 grand in debt.
No,
like 40 grand on a credit card. On credit card.
That's steep, brother.
So I'm just like, okay, so like
I'm getting anxiety.
What did you like?
I'm getting shivers, bro.
What did you spend? Right, what did you like buy? He's like, yo, honestly, when I look at it, it's literally just clothes and like lifestyle, like just food, like going out every weekend. I'm like, brother, like what are you doing, man? Like
God bless his soul, man. God bless his soul.
Now he owns a business and shit like that. Like he okay, so he has good cash flow, but like that 40 grand, bro, like just show a little bit of like, well, think about it. Okay, let's say you spent 250 on that one night.
Yeah,
250, like that's a pretty average night in terms of like going to a couple places. That's fucked.
But you're right.
Pretty regular. 250 for one night, brother.
Yeah, for one.
Now,
night.
if you go out twice a fucking week, that's 5 billas. That's 1 week. Multiply that by how many weeks? That's 2 G's, bro.
Yeah,
2 G's in 12 months. That's 24 grand, brother. Yep. That could have gone to like an investment or whatever. Now, this is me saying that in retrospect now.
Yeah,
but I mean. It's kind of like, and then this is where like people complain, oh, I can't afford a house. Like you can.
Yeah.
You're just not willing to fucking sacrifice your lifestyle. This is what it is.
That's what it is, man. I heard some really fucking, bro. One of the things actually that I want to bring up, and we don't know what this is episode 1, season 0, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but we don't know what the fuck we're going to be talking about. All we know is that we're just two curious motherfuckers. We're brothers, and I don't know, man.
We're brothers that are trying to take over the world and build an empire together.
We're trying to figure shit out, man.
I mean, he's fluffing it, but that's a reality. Like, like, look, at the end of the day,
we're trying to do is
we're trying to get to the point where we're rich in life and like, okay, obviously
Bigger thing in
correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think you and I see the same ways on this. But it's just like being rich in life doesn't mean necessarily being wealthy, but being rich in life is having like fulfilling relationships and fulfilling experiences with the people that you love. You know what I mean? So you can have somebody that's like doesn't financially have a lot of fucking money, but if they have a life that they're happy with, to me that's rich. You're rich, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you like, if part of having that ability is also like, if you could get to the point where you're financially free so that you can like focus more on that as opposed to your finances, then I think that you're in a great fucking position.
Yeah,
you know what
no
I mean?
matter how much X amount of whatever currency you're listening to this from, or whatever currency you use, like, I think to add to that, it's just and this is something that is related to another topic that I want to bring up, but it's the whole concept of just being able to do everything you just said and have that independence. Like, independence is like the key buzzword for
Freedom.
me. Just a freedom slash independence, however you want to look at it, but having that just ability to be like, yo, like, I can literally just, you know,
money doesn't.
I'm my own bitch. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Look, money doesn't buy happiness.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of motherfuckers that have a lot of money but are not happy. But money does buy freedom.
Yeah. And that should be the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. So all this in a long-winded way, what we're trying to get at is this podcast is about us as brothers, our way of navigating through this life and our experiences, what we find funny, what we find cool, and whatever. But also just like from a business standpoint, we also have our own ambitions and whatnot, and it's like whatever we experience in our business life that we think would be beneficial for whoever's like watching this,
100%.
then I think that's basically the focus, right?
We want to share our learnings, build that community, add value, because like, bro, we've been talking about this back and forth. How dope would it be at the end of our life to fucking, in our deathbeds, you know, look back and be like, we have this whole fucking
catalog of
shit,
and it's something that our descendants can just like go back to. It's like, yo, like this is like, look at it this way. I like in our own family like legend, right? There was these brothers, Luis Mayo. I don't even know the rest of his brothers, but like in our family, that's kind of like the legends that those guys were the ones that like set the stage for where our family is now. They were hardworking, because back then in Cuartero, you basically like, so Cuartero is our hometown. Back in those days, like you're talking about 8 generations ago. So I'm thinking like literally early 1800s when this started, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they emigrated from Guimaras, which is not Guimaras, sorry. South Manila. I forget what the place is called.
Some island.
It's somewhere in the fucking jungle, Luke's, you know
thousands
what I mean?
of them.
Anyway, so they immigrated, and then back then in the province, in the country, basically, if you cleared the land,
it was yours,
and then you registered it in the municipal office, it was yours. You didn't have to buy shit.
Take care of that shit.
Just take care of it.
Government was just like, bro, if you clear that shit, you earn that shit. Make some money off of it, pay your taxes.
Because it was in the government's best interest, 100%. Right? Because like the more land was cleared, the more the economy grew.
They were doing their job for them.
Yeah, 100%, exactly. Yeah. So basically, like part of the reason why our family is kind of like, especially on our dad's side, is the way it is because that like those brothers set the stage. Now,
which is crazy, by the way. Just imagine being in that time, being like, bro, let's just fucking start walking, and then this place right here. Let's build shit.
Just work hard.
Let's just work hard,
and you're fucking good to go.
That's someone here.
It's 11.
Oh, there's some motherfuckers here. They're coming in. They're filtering in.
Yeah, they're filtering.
So every Sundays is
Hang on a second.
We got open mat every Sunday.
Uno momento. Oh, what's up?
Good morning.
How are you? Good. It's working.
So we're doing this right before the open mat. But yeah, fucking who was that?
It was Alia. She's
the owner.
No, she's an employee of like she's like part of the property management.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But how crazy is that, man? So that's who we're drawing from, man.
So what I'm getting at is that like that's just from like straight legend, but like we have an opportunity, and even about the Ning, bro. Like I would hear stories about the Ning and like how, bro, like it's actually crazy because Abato like didn't go to school. Like he maybe went to like maybe like grade 4, grade 5 or some shit. But then he was really smart in that like he knew how to maneuver in terms of business, right? In terms of like what he do with his family to get ahead. So part of that was like what he would do is all of his cousins, because it's a big family, right? All of his cousins, like males, like the children, the male children, he would have them all live in Obos, like where his house is, and then he would basically like put them to work, and then he would support them all the way up until like either they got married or they like went like they were past 18 basically.
Yeah.
So they like it's like having a ward, like you know in Game of Thrones where like you know like royal families would like they would like take in like a son or a daughter of, or usually a son of like a rival or whatever, and make them their ward. It's like that, right? But he basically like had like an army full of just Mayo men, just putting them to work, and then that's where he like got a huge advantage because he was able to clear bare land,
dude. Some fucking on some Godfather shit, straight up.
On some straight, no, honestly, it is some on some straight Godfather shit. Like shit. They literally called him Don Caetano.
Don Caetano, what a
Don,
sick
brother.
name too, man.
Caetano's a gangster name.
Caetano's
and
a
he had that,
gangster
you know,
name.
that hat like I brought back. That's like his signature look, bro.
Which one?
Like the cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Like
Show me
I'll show you. I'll show you next time. But
yeah, that's where we're coming from. That's the kind of voice we want to put out in the world. Because man, like with the internet now, it's such a fucking sick time to be alive, bro.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of look. There's a lot of opportunity out there, and if you just to me, it's like if you just stay disciplined and you stay consistent, like it's just bound to fucking happen.
Like before,
it's
like
bound to pop.
with this with shit like this, before you would need money. You know, I saw a clip with 21 Savage. I've never seen this motherfucker as passionate as he was talking about this topic, but he was basically talking about, I guess, the difference between being a rapper in like the 90s, like when it was still kind of like, you know, growing, versus now.
Right.
Like you could be just some motherfucker in his mom's bedroom or his mom's house, that mom's
Back
basement.
then, you needed the help of a label. Now you don't.
You
need
had to go to the
shit.
label with like 200 bands.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's what
exactly.
Jay-Z did.
Exactly.
He went to the label. And so to get started nowadays, though, is just you just need a fucking
Anybody with a fucking computer and a
anyone with
laptop and a
computer
mic
and a connection. That's it. All they need.
Exactly. And like, so that's where it would be cool. Like, as we go through this journey, to just stay completely independent. Like, I think between us, we don't need anybody else to, like, what do we need?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, I'd be
Production-wise,
happy
it's
if we
covered.
had 100 motherfuckers follow us.
Exactly.
100
Exactly.
motherfuckers follow us, fuck with us. You know what I mean? And dude, we just all ride together and fucking go through this journey together and fucking figure shit out together.
It's literally just like we should treat it as just like community.
It is.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Just like, and then what we could even do like hangs and stuff, like meetups or whatever. You know what I mean? Especially in this area. I think we just target the local, like local stuff for now. I think that in terms of building a community, that's obviously the most easiest. Not necessarily easiest. I don't know if what I'm trying to get at is like it's more accessible to build a community when you're like, if you're just focusing on a particular area. But also, if we do have guests and whatnot, more than likely our guests are going to be people that are local anyway. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like the owner of like Tim, for example, right? But yeah, eventually, I think that's definitely on the roadmap, is having guests. I think through just the jiu-jitsu community alone, like we have access to so many different like interesting people.
Yeah.
Whether it be business or just like
Just anything, man.
just really anything.
Just really anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly,
So-
like I think the underlying concept for me too, one of the big underlying concepts for me, and I got this idea from some, I would say, you know, other people will call him quote unquote guru. I just think he's a fucking beast, which is Alex Hormozy. I think he says something along the lines of like, if you were to like, one of the best things you can do in life, or like one of the greatest things you can actually do to have like a fulfilling life, is to be able to teach other people. And what he meant by that, I know it's very like surface level, like, oh, like, you know, one of the like best privileges, right? So what he kind of meant by that is like, it would be such a shame for you to have learned all the things that you've learned throughout your life and go to your deathbed and like pass away without having like shared that with anyone. And so while we're figuring this shit out, it's like, bro, why not just fucking
Exactly.
turn on the camera, turn on the mics,
Yeah.
just throw it out there, bro. And
Yeah.
if some motherfucker, you know what I mean, gets any kind of like value out of it,
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, that resonates with me more so because of jiu-jitsu. Like that's literally it's like
100%.
why like you spent all this time developing techniques and learning all this that techniques. Why would you just take that to the grave with you? Why not like share it? You know what I mean?
Why not share it?
Why not let the next generation be better? Because I know some instructors that hold back techniques and hold back students because they can't deal with the fact that their students are eventually going to get better with them. As an instructor, as a
Fuck those
coach, you should want your and to be genuine about it, because some people will boost like, oh, I want my students to be better than me, but they'll purposely like hold them back. I've had that personal experience where it's just like I have had a coach, one from the very beginning, one that was my coach from the start. Basically, I was working on a technique and I asked him a question about it, and he's just like, oh, you've been doing it wrong for the past 2 years. So you're meaning to tell me that you've known that I've been doing it wrong for the past 2 years, and you didn't fucking say shit about it until I actually asked you.
And you're the motherfucker I rely on to call me out on that. If any motherfucker's gonna call
and
me
I'm
on it,
paying you to fucking call.
I'm paying you to fucking tell me that shit.
And then I asked him, like, why didn't you tell me? And he's just like, some lessons have to be learned by yourself. It was like, go fuck yourself, buddy.
Fuck yourself.
So meaning, like, you know, this is not what we're trying to do here with this podcast. No. Like whatever lessons and best practices, whatever aha moments that we have from whether it be business or in life, that's what we're going to share here. And if we could impact somebody in a positive way so that they can take that into their lives and make their lives more fulfilling and enriched, like more power, like that makes me so happy.
100%. You know what I mean? And we don't, and I mean, I'm talking more from my perspective. I feel this way. I think you feel this way to an extent too. You're a little bit more ahead than I am. But at least for me, I don't know shit right now. I don't feel like I have the any kind of background at all to be telling people or teaching people anything. But that's just my own ego talking too, bro.
But I think that's the type of attitude that's going to help you grow, because you know, for me, you might say that I'm a little bit ahead of you, and that might be the case in terms of just general, right? But the more like, not to sound cliche, but the more I know, the more I realize I don't know jack shit. And it's that hunger that of like, oh, I want to keep finding out. Like the moment that you think, oh, I know shit, that's the moment that you stop growing. Yeah. That's the moment that you stop learning shit, because now you're so overconfident about your abilities or whatever. It's like, no. You have to have that, like, that humbleness, be like, nah, actually, you know what? I still have a lot to work on. Like, I might be a brown belt, but I know, like, for example, I have like serious imposter syndrome being a fucking brown belt. But
there's always going to be that.
And I think there's always going to be that. But
I'm having that shit right now.
Like, bro, like I have, like when I was purple belt though, bro, when I first got purple, I knew that I felt like a purple belt, right? Yeah. But brown belt's like, fuck, like
I think it's because it's like one more than your fucking black belt.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot more responsibility. Factor? I think that's probably a big, no, I think a big factor of it, honestly, is that it's like, you can't help it, but like, I know, like, obviously everybody's on their own journey. You don't want to be comparing yourself to others, and that's why jiu-jitsu is such a poem for life, bro. Because so many things that happen in jiu-jitsu is just literally a metaphor for what can happen in life. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm comparing myself to guys that I know are legit brown belts, or I know are their black belts, and they'll fuck me up. And it's just like, well, like, if you're making me feel like a dummy, like how can I say that I'm a fucking brown belt? You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, you know, there are days where you're the hammer. There are days that you're a nail. But the guys that I actually like really respect as, you know, brown belts, or as, you know, even like Jose, for example, like, it's fucked up that Jose doesn't have his fucking brown belt and I have a brown belt. Like, bro, there was a time where I was fucking Jose up. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then it's fucked because Jose and I became really like main training partners throughout COVID. Yeah. And there was something that just clicked within Jose, and he just really started, like, you know,
he dedicated himself.
He really dedicated himself. Yeah. And then, like, man, like like, there are days where I'll still get him, but those days are fewer than when he gets me. Few and far between. Bro, he'll get me. Well, it's because he's the younger, he's athletic. I mean, these are the things that I just tell him. But I should still be able to beat him with technique.
You know it's also one of those things too, man. Like, jiu-jitsu, like you said, man, it's such a, you can translate. It translates so well to, like, just being and having a very fulfilling life in general, like just training jiu-jitsu in general,
doing something hard, struggling through something.
And for you, it's like there's that competition aspect with, like, your training partners and stuff like that. But you gotta remember too, like, the motherfuckers that you're training with every single day are killers. They're like the 1%. You know what I mean? So the fact that you can even, like, give those motherfuckers a chance, like a shot. You know what I mean?
But it's also that like humbleness that's just like, okay, well, I know I'm not shit, but that's also like it's hard to kind of appreciate how much better that you're getting just in those those like moments. But then when you actually kind of zoom out, it's like, holy crap, bro! I've been doing this for 8 years now. Like,
it's crazy.
Like it's kind of it's wild,
you,
bro.
Dude, I started. I'm not gonna lie, man. When I saw you getting your brown, I was like, man, I gotta get my shit together, bro.
Brother.
I need to get my shit together.
That's what I was really hoping. I'm like, yo, I'm glad that he's here for this because like hopefully this fucking like
oh, bro, I'm always
kicks him in the ass.
I'm always gonna put reach your fucking your belt ceremony.
No, I'm just saying like because like for me, obviously, like. There was a time where I kept telling me like, bro, you gotta reach. But then I was just like, you know what? If he wants to come back, he's gonna come back on his own.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and I'm not fucking. I mean, it's like this thing. It's like anything in fucking life, bro. You gotta plant the seeds, man. You gotta give it a little water and stuff.
Exactly.
And you could always pick up shit like at any point in life. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just like.
But going back to like just that concept of just like I think it's so important for like struggle is so important, and that's why I'm saying that jiu-jitsu is such a parable for life, and that you like legitimate like okay for the legit way of doing because there's not a legit way of doing it where people are literally getting their purple belt in like 2-3 years. Like what? I mean, you have to be sleeping with your instructor. You know what I mean? But you hear about that Giselle, Tom Brady's ex. Got like it has been sleeping with like a jiu-jitsu like black belt, and she got her blue belt her purple belt in like 2 years.
Oh man.
Anyway, that's what I digress. My point is like jiu-jitsu is one of those things where you have to really fucking struggle, and it's so rewarding when you actually like it's one of the most rewarding things where you're actually starting to become competent in it, and then going through this journey with a bunch of other people that are kind of like-minded and going through the same struggle because this shit's hard. And this is where it's just like you take those lessons into your own life where it's just like, okay, when you pick up a new skill or when you're going through like whatever struggles that you're going through, it's just like, yo, struggle's good for you. And then eventually, like if you just keep going at it, if you keep dedicating yourself to it, like some good will come out of it. You know what I mean?
Not a lot of people have their hard.
Exactly. And it
like the average
people
person
avoid struggle.
Yeah, they avoid struggle. They don't have something that is hard for them. Like for even just like thinking back to what we were talking about before, like those people that we went out with, like just talking to them, you could tell they have no hobbies.
Yeah,
all they really care about is just fucking hanging out. Well, it's not that they care about it, but it's like all they really do. Like
just hang.
It's just hang.
That's like it's like those people that go to the clubs every week is like you have nothing else going on in your life.
That's why you're there.
That's why you're there.
Right? You have nothing else to spend your money on because you don't know what else to spend your money on.
No judgment. Which is okay. That's cool. That's okay. But it's just like you're not setting it like to me. I don't feel like you're setting yourself up for having the most fulfilling life. I don't know. Like that something might come off as judging and whatnot.
Because like for me, like just speaking for myself, the reason why I was curious about in the first place about like, oh, is this like actually their lifestyle? Those two guys that were I was talking about before, my girlfriend's friends, was because the past week I spent a lot of fucking money on just myself, like signing up for just classes again, gym across the street, signing up for a couple basketball leagues next year, like a couple of beer leagues next season. And I was just thinking like, man, like the only reason why I really thought of that or why that thought even came up to my mind, I think, is because I was trying to like cope, like, I'm spending a lot of fucking money on myself, and like these motherfuckers are, spend probably around the same as me. So okay, I think I'm okay. Because,
no, you're okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'm spending that money.
I feel the same way because it's just like, man, I like the money. The what I spend my money on is not necessarily material. Like I could give two shits about clothes. I don't give two shits about like any of this material shit. I spend money on experiences. I spend. People are always just like, yo, bro, like how many how many things that do you get into? I'm like, honestly, like it's like a lot. Like I jiu-jitsu is always going to be my passion. Yeah. But I love cooking. Like I worked as a cook before. I love yoga. Like I'm a fucking certified yoga instructor.
What the fuck did you buy recently for yourself?
For myself, brother, a fucking tattoo machine.
What the fuck? Bro, I was chatting with my girl last night. She was just like, I can't believe your brother bought a tattoo maker, a tattoo machine.
But that's me. That like
That's
I
you.
always
That's
do
you.
random shit like that.
That's
like,
always been you. You know what I told her? I was
Yeah.
like, man, that's just him, bro. Like the motherfucker is like one of the most ambitious guys I know. Like he'll just fucking buy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember you bought like just a bunch of like you tried just like dabbling in so
I just
much
try
shit
shit
throughout
you know what I
COVID.
mean?
But that's
Yeah.
what you got to
But whatever
do.
sticks, like, and those types of experiences,
try.
those types of things, like, I don't have that. Where a lot of times I have conversations with people is like, oh, I can't do that. Like, who, like, there's no way. Like, for example, I try to convince like one of my friends, like, she has like literally no hobbies, bro.
Yeah,
literally no hobbies,
Nothing.
and it's just like, bro, like, why don't like, yeah, do you wanna, I was trying to tell her to come to volleyball, right? I'm like, yo, you know her, but like, I'd rather not say names. I'm like, yo, why don't you come to play volleyball with me, right? Like, I'm gonna sign up in January. She's like, I don't play volleyball.
Yeah. Motherfucker, you haven't even tried.
It's like, yo, okay.
As soon as you tell yourself that, it's
exactly.
like,
So
you know what I
you're already
mean?
defeated. I was like,
you already
all
lost
right,
the
all
battle.
right, whatever.
That's like,
exactly.
yeah.
Whereas I don't have that barrier. It's like, that sounds like fun. All right,
Yeah.
let's try it. I don't know if
Exactly.
it's gonna be fun. Maybe it's not gonna be fun, but let me try it. You know what I mean?
That's the mentality that a lot of people surprisingly don't have.
I don't know. I think a lot of it is just the fact that, like, okay, for example, like jiu-jitsu, for example, is just again going back to how it's a parable of life. It's like you have to have a certain personality for jiu-jitsu
To even step on the
to
mat
even
the
step
first
on the
day.
fucking mat,
Yeah.
because you have to be able to take L's.
Yeah.
And if you can't take L's well, you're not gonna fucking flourish in jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like when it comes to anybody else that's like getting into something, you need to acknowledge and show yourself grace that you're gonna fucking suck at it when
Yeah.
you're first starting out.
It's unreasonable to think starting day one, unless you're a supernatural talent,
Exactly.
that you're going to be good.
And even then, it might not even, some people that get good at things quick, this guy, like, sometimes will lose interest
Yeah.
fucking quickly. You know
A
what I mean?
lot
It's a
quickly, yeah.
double-edged sword,
but
right?
it's also because, like, I know for me, I just fucking, it's the consistency is like one of the hardest things for
Yeah,
me personally.
exactly.
But I know, like, it's just a heads down thing. You just gotta fucking go regardless of how you're fucking feeling. That's how I feel about a lot of things. But I'm trying to get jits onto that bucket. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like when it
exactly.
comes to the gym, I'm like pretty good at that. I'm just
Yeah.
like, bro, like I feel like fucking shit. I'm just gonna go fucking.
Yeah,
roll in here.
exactly.
You know what I mean? That's you gotta find that you gotta find that like state where you're just like, regardless of how the fuck you're feeling, you're gonna do that
Yeah.
thing. The easiest one for me right now is fucking video games. Like struggling in video games, fucking,
Yeah.
you know, competing within that. Basketball too.
Basketball, yeah.
I'll fucking go to LA and get
Mhm.
destroyed, bro.
Mhm,
Like every single time I pull up to LA just for like some drop in runs, like I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna get fucking dumped on today.
But bro, like,
But that's
it's-
part of it.
That's part of it. And then when
Yeah.
you start getting
You gotta
sick
have
at
that
it,
confidence, man. A lot of people are not confident at all.
That's
Like
part
a
of
lot
it.
of people are not confident in not just themselves, but the idea that
I'm gonna suck at something,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna look like I'm gonna get embarrassed in front of a bunch of people.
it's
that.
it's the outward thing that a lot of people think about, whereas it should just be like, bro, no one gives a fuck.
No,
you
like,
know?
exactly.
Everyone's just focused on themselves.
Exactly.
Just do your own thing. Just struggle and just bro,
It's
you just gotta
rewarding,
fail.
bro.
You gotta go in there and try to fucking fail. And it's unreasonable to think that if you do that over an extended period of time, that you're gonna still suck as bad as you did the first
Exactly.
day.
Exactly.
You know what
And
I
the funny
mean?
thing is, like, okay, going back to jiu-jitsu again, it's just like it's fundamentally changed how I look at things in terms of skills and whatnot.
Yeah.
In learning.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally it's changed the way I think about learning, in a sense that, like, yeah, how audacious of me to think, oh, I'm gonna just fucking buy a tattoo machine and I'm gonna start fucking trying to tattoo. But if I didn't go through jiu-jitsu, I think I still would have that kind of mentality of like, how the fuck am I gonna learn how to fucking tattoo?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just like, I know that, like, jiu-jitsu is just like, I just like, as long as I show up and I show up consistently, and as long as I'm actually like going in there with an intention to actually learn, I know I'm gonna suck in the beginning, but if I keep at it and if I keep showing up, eventually I'm gonna get fucking pretty good.
Yeah.
I might not be amazing, but I'm gonna get good at
You
it.
know, like I mean, it's different goals, right? Like to be like a world champion. Now that's a
That's a
whole
different, yeah,
thing,
exactly. That's a whole
right?
different thing.
That's
exactly.
like, you got to have a certain kind of killer mentality for that. You got to be a fucking assassin.
You
for
got to
that.
dedicate your well, yeah. I mean, unless again you're one of those like phenoms, you got to dedicate your fucking life to.
Yeah.
Like, look at like Nikki, little Nikki at Current, Austin's little cousin. I think
Is that all he does? Is just fucking
bro, literally like 4 or
love
5
that.
hours a day.
I fucking love
4 or
that.
5.
Good for him, man.
So Lil Nicky's a bit of a jiu-jitsu phenom, and he like I met the kid when he was like maybe 11, like 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Little kid, but he just completely fell balls deep and beyond into jiu-jitsu.
That's a crazy family, man.
And
Austin,
brother,
Hannah,
yeah. But
Lil
honestly,
Nicky.
I'm not gonna get into too much of his like backstory and whatnot. But like, he needed it. He needed something to.
He was a
No,
rascal.
not even that, but like just like the environment that he was in. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
Yeah. So like I always gave credit to Austin of like really stepping up and like being that guy for him. You know what I mean? And anyway, so now like he worked his ass off, worked hard. He had great coaching, because Austin is also kind of like he really studies the game, and same with Ryan as well. So those two are his coaches,
Dude,
and he
talk
became
about a fucking.
he was
dream
just
duo.
a fucking he competed a lot and often. And then what Austin brings to the table is a background in high level hockey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he played in pretty high level hockey,
Yeah.
right? And you know, in Canada, obviously, high level hockey is high level fucking hockey. Like anywhere else in the world, it's the best in the world, right? So he was exposed to the level of coaching. So he basically, we've had conversations about this where he's just like, bro, like the coaches in jiu-jitsu, like, yeah, there's like a handful that are good, but they're like, it's so young in its history that no one really knows what high level coaching actually looks like.
Yeah.
So he's taken a lot of like the methodologies and just like the mindset and the frameworks from hockey, high level hockey coaching,
Dude.
and he's applied that in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So he's just like, he tells parents like, your kid is gonna struggle, your kid's not gonna have a good time sometimes, but one thing that will happen is your kid is gonna come out of here with like jiu-jitsu, like with solid fucking jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu
Solid jiu-jitsu, but also just a solid mentality too,
exactly,
bro.
just like and a solid mentality that they could take
hard
in life.
motherfuckers.
Exactly, they're gonna exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, with all that being said, Nicky's always been like his first student, right? And he took him from the ground up.
Wait, he's his brother, right?
No, his cousin.
Oh,
His little cousin. No, they're not even siblings. They're cousins.
Okay, that makes sense. It's
So-
only Hannah and Austin. That
Hannah
are,
and Austin, they have an older brother, Travis, but he doesn't train or anything like
Okay.
that. Like, he's actually my age,
thought
but
they were
he has like a
fucking-
family and whatnot. He's not really interested. Anyway, so all this to say, he started competing, he started kicking ass. Like constant, like, you know, success is a habit with type of shit. Whereas just like he was constantly just bringing home gold. I think he might be undefeated in terms of tournaments. I don't know. I have to double check. But anyway, so last year this guy brought it all the way to Pens, and he won Pens.
no shit.
He won fucking Pens, bro.
Good on you, little.
I think they went to Florida and he ended up winning Pens. But anyway, so now like, bro, like whenever I'm at Current, like he right after he gets home from school, he goes straight to the gym, starts doing kids classes. He teaches some kids classes.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
He's like
so-
what, 14?
There's a younger kids from like 6 to 10 and then like 10 to 13 or something like that. But he
But
teaches.
he himself is like 14, isn't
yeah,
he?
he's 14. Yeah.
Oh.
He's in high school.
He's gonna be off.
And then he does adult classes right after. So he's there literally for like as much time that he
Yeah.
spends at school, he spends at jiu-jitsu every day.
Man.
And he does privates on the weekends.
Oh my god.
So like I was telling you,
immersed.
Nikki, I'm like, bro, like, you know, it's such a blessing that you already found what you want to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like now he just completely
He's
just
like,
immersed
you
in
could
it.
tell like just from talking to the kid.
Oh,
that
he's
fucking-
autistic. He's autistic
yeah,
about it.
He loves that shit.
He loves
Yeah,
that shit.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's
we should probably
fucking fire.
wrap this. Yeah, like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think
how
so.
how much are we into it?
We're like 40 minutes into it, bro.
Okay.
It's 11:30. Do you want to wrap now or?
Maybe
Yeah, a few
another
more
10
minutes.
minutes. Yeah,
Another 10
because
minutes.
people are gonna start probably filtering in.
Yeah, this is why we gotta do it 9 to
This is
11.
this is why we got to do 9
know
to
what I
11.
mean?
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, fucking circling back to where we even are right now, man. Like, how complimentary of its time to start whatever the fuck this is, season 1. We keep fucking we don't know what the hell this is, but the past week, meat and potatoes of this past week, bro, was where we are right now. We didn't even mention it, but the grand opening, the first week of Revo Jiu-Jitsu.
Let's
in
go,
Burlington,
brother.
man.
Hell yeah, brother.
Grand
yes,
motherfucking
sir.
opening, man. So how the fuck?
Revo
how
Jiu-Jitsu.
was it?
It was amazing. I mean, we didn't plan on opening this early. It's not necessarily a grand opening. We're gonna have a grand opening in the spring, or like in the new year. But
Or is that where you
due
bring
to
out the fucking-
unforeseen, well, I guess due to existential circumstances that are out of our control, something happened that led us to believe that it would be a good idea to open now. I'd rather not get into it here, right at this very moment.
I think I know.
Yeah. So
I'm in the
basically, there was an opportunity that arose, and we just took it. Like the gym was already ready, so we were just thinking, like, why wait until January to get that going, right? And so, we ended up opening it, and then here we are, and so that we've had our first week of classes, which is amazing, and now we're having an open mat right after this, no affiliations. It's all unlimited for whoever wants to kind of join for our open mat, and so we're already about 33 to 35% of our way through our break even, which is amazing.
This month.
Well, break even because in January is when we start paying rent, like technically, but we have a certain number, like a quota to meet
from now until
the end of January to break even, basically on our like expenses, like our monthly expenses.
So we're already
30, 35, exactly. Yeah. So in the first week of January, I'm gonna say I'm anticipating a big influx of people, because there's a bunch of soft closes out there that are like, you know what I mean? Like, it's obviously the holidays,
there's
right?
There's a bunch of motherfuckers that are like, I want to try jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's my New Year resolution.
There's all
that's
the target. Yeah. So that's why, like, now I think there's a lot of things, a lot of synergies that can happen in terms of like all the research that I'm doing with like Google AdWords, like Instagram marketing, TikTok marketing, that is going to help this project, but also help the business as well.
Yeah.
So all this to say, I think a key takeaway for today is the fact that, like, just fucking try shit.
Just try shit.
Like, who am I to think that like we're gonna be good at Instagram marketing or jiu-jitsu marketing or TikTok or whatever the fuck? But
you gotta be willing to fail.
You gotta be willing to fail. Exactly.
You gotta be willing to suck. Not fail. I think fail is just a word.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. I think fail is a buzzword that gets people a little insecure, gets people a little anxious. But just being willing to suck at things, especially in the beginning, that's when you should suck.
Exactly.
Right? But just, as long as you're, like we said before, giving it a little bit of water every single time, right?
Showing up.
Showing
you gotta
up.
show up every day.
But also, half of that is being intentful too.
Yes.
Having the intention.
Exactly. Because you're like we have a saying in jiu-jitsu, is like when you could just show up to class and not really have any intent, your progression is gonna be okay. It's gonna be better than flat, but it's gonna be relatively flat.
Yeah.
1 second. And then, whereas your progression through, like, when you actually have like an intent, is going to just be a lot steeper.
Goals,
100%.
Just strategy. Yeah. But try shit out.
With that,
we'll be back to you fucking next week.
Peace.
Good
shit.